We want to talk about what we believe is the top prospects in American arm wrestling right now. So, what I mean by that when I say top prospects is not necessarily guys that are going to be the best in the next year, but guys who in the next 3 to 5 years we're going to see at the top level. Guys that are going to be kind of the next king of their weight class, or at least banging with the current kings. So we'll just go over a little bit of who we think. So starting off,
Yeah, top five in no particular order.
yeah, Derek Smith.
Derek Smith.
Derek Smith has to be on our top 5 list
I agree.
for sure. Derek's been around longer than I have,
Mm-hmm.
but recently Derek's been improving a lot.
Yeah, so if I'm correct, Derek has arm wrestled competitively for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But the last year and a half to 2 years, he's made significant improvements because he's always had a good understanding of arm wrestling, but his understanding got to a point where he really knew how to use his certain body mechanics to his advantage.
Yeah.
And on top of that, he got some great advice from a few different arm wrestlers.
Ingen. I know he's
Ingen
working with
Terzi
Ingen a lot.
being
Yeah.
the one that comes to mind the most.
Mm-hmm.
He restructured the way he trained for arm wrestling, and that allowed him to get a lot stronger on the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, he's figuring out how to use what he has. I mean, Derek is what, like 6'6"?
He's about 6'7", almost 6'8", I want to say.
6'8",
Yeah.
350 pounds, maybe more.
Yeah, about 330 to 350. is
Okay,
where
there
he-
you go.
he
So
ranges from,
Derek's
I
a
believe.
giant person, giant hand,
Yeah.
big levers. He understands arm wrestling really well. Over the last couple of years, he's been improving a ton. I think that Derek is somebody who we're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years bang with any super heavyweight in North America. Who's someone that you want to see Derek pull in the next couple years
That's
to
a good
really,
question.
show that he is ready for that level? Like, who do you think's a good match in the super heavyweights?
I have to go with guys on the West Coast for this one.
Yeah?
California, specifically Tom Nelson.
Tom Nelson. Okay.
I would like to see Derek go against Tom Nelson because Tom, for the longest time, has been revered as
the king
number
of
one
California.
California.
Yeah.
And I still view Tom as an amazing arm wrestler.
Yeah.
But I firmly believe that Derek, at any point, any day, could beat Tom Nelson.
Yeah.
And if they were both trained up, peaked out for competition, I think the edge still goes to Derek.
Okay. Yeah. You know who I want to see him pull is either Mike Aiello or Chris Chandler.
Yeah, those are
Because
both good
in
matches.
my opinion, Mike Aiello and Chris Chandler are like the gatekeepers of the elite level, right? Like, not that they're not elite, but they're the guys at the top right before you get to guys like Devin and Jerry and Michael
Yeah.
and Dave, right?
Yeah, the
So-
good thing about both of those guys is that they've always been elite, pretty much.
Yeah.
Chris Chandler was elite at 165.
143
Yeah.
was his first competition.
Insanely
Yeah.
low weight.
He's a national champion from
Yeah.
143 to supers.
He went up in weight and just got better.
Yeah.
Mike Aiello, basically from the moment he got into arm wrestling, was very good.
Yes. Yeah.
He has made improvements, but they've been subtle improvements.
Mhm.
He's always been very good.
Yeah.
He got the raw end of a lot of matches during the reality show Game of Arms, but as soon as that show was done, he got some very notable wins on some very good super heavyweights.
Absolutely.
Another guy that doesn't have all the accolades of the guys we just mentioned that I would also like to see Derek go up against is Eric Spoto of
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
I would also like to see Eric Spoto maybe go up against the other guys that we're talking
Yeah,
about, right? 'Cause
definitely.
Eric might be another prospect of the future, but the only issue with Eric is he never competes. So I wouldn't really classify him with these guys because these guys are people that we think are going to be banging with the best. Eric's just a guy that isn't banging with anybody really except for in practice. So
Eric
I
is a
would
guy
count
that
him
has
out.
insane strength, but hasn't competed in recent years,
Mhm.
and there is not enough proof to me that he will start competing.
Yeah,
in
I
the
agree.
next couple years.
Yeah, so I wouldn't include him on this list, but I would like to see that match because he's
100%.
kind of like Hermes, right? The practice king.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Who else? So we got Derek Smith.
All right, at number 4, I would like to bring up Austin Wade.
Yes, Austin Wade. Yeah, Florida boy, Austin Wade. He's 20 years old, maybe 21, and he's banging with everyone in the southeastern region. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
Austin has wins on Artem, both hands, I believe. Austin has wars with Noel, who Noel is a serious threat. If you guys don't know Noel Nunez, check his matches out. But Austin has beaten everyone in Florida. He's the number one guy in Florida in 176. And in the Southeast, he's kind of the number two guy, both arms. The only person ranked ahead of him is Justin Bishop. So some of Austin's accolades, like most recently, as I just mentioned, he's ranked right below Justin Bishop, but we saw him compete in Kansas City.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a great match with Bill Logston left-handed. I think he's knocking at Bill's door, as I think you are too. But I think Jamie Sheldon ended up knocking him out right-handed, and Bill knocked him out left-handed. So he's not losing to anybody but the top guys in the 176 category.
Definitely. I agree 100%. Even though I've never had the opportunity to pull Austin, I do rank him above myself.
Yeah.
He's very strong from 170 pounds to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
He's proven, he's elite. He had a really great showing in Kansas City, left-handed. Right-handed, he had some good matches against Jamie Sheldon and Dalton Duncan. Very well could have seen him beat Dalton Duncan, but he got a quick pin on Austin.
Missed the go on that
Missed
one.
the opportunity on that one.
Yeah,
but,
which happens to all of us.
It does.
Yeah.
But I still rank Austin very highly in terms of current level and what he will be in the future.
Yeah, current level, I definitely think that he's capable of top 15, 176, but I think in the future he's going to be one of our top 5 guys for
100%.
sure. I mean, his strength level is there. I've pulled with him. I've pulled with a lot of the top 176 guys in the country. His strength is there, and his technical execution is there too. I mean, Austin can transition from full inside shoulder commit hook all the way to an outside top roll and everywhere in between. So
very intelligent puller.
Austin is someone that you should look out for if you don't know Austin. Austin Wade is going to be the man for sure. And he's a fellow Florida boy, right? So you got to support him. You got to support him. Other than Austin Wade, we have Kyle Depew, right? Kyle Depew is going to be the man. I'm telling everyone right now, listen. Kyle's been pulling since he was, 15, 14?
Yeah, so right after my 14th birthday, I competed in a tournament that Jamie put on.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he's been training with multiple-time world champion, 16-time world champion Alan Fisher, 22, 26. Who knows? That guy
has probably, out of all the young prospects over the years, there's probably been no one that has got to pull with as many world champions
as I got to.
Yeah. My first ever practice, I pulled with Alan, Devin Larrett. I pulled with all the best guys in California from a very young age.
Yeah, so you just started pulling opens this year, right?
Yeah, I've had about 5 months of real open
right.
experience. Yeah.
And yesterday you placed third. You made some errors, but things that we can get around. You placed third place in Kansas City, 26-man class 3-4 weeks ago. He took fourth place. He beat Terry Presson, who is the number one guy in Tennessee and one of the best in the Southeast. I mean, he's on a roll, and he's going to be coming to Florida to run a training camp with me for 1 or 2 months, something like that.
Really looking forward to seeing how much I can improve in that.
Dude, I'm telling you, Kyle is going to go from where he is now to a top 20 guy in either 76s or 190, wherever we decide to place him, and by the end of the year. Kyle's someone that you're going to have to look out for if you haven't been paying attention. I really think that Kyle's right there with Austin as far as knocking at guys' doors like Bill Logston, like Jamie Sheldon, like his mentor, Alan Fisher. Kyle and Austin are right at that cusp of breaking into that true elite level. I really believe it. Especially, I mean, you're going to be training with me. Of course I'm going to get you there. You know what I mean? Come on.
I appreciate all the kind words.
Yeah, I mean, I truly believe you have the passion, you have the drive,
Thank you.
You have the technical execution. We just need to build some horsepower and fix some minor errors, and you're going to be right there.
Definitely. I appreciate it. And at number 2, we have the Corey West of Arkansas.
Yes. I mean, how can you not talk about Corey? Corey West is probably, these are in no specific order. Don't get me wrong, but if it wasn't in order, Corey West would probably be the number one prospect in North America.
Yes.
Not even probably, he would be.
Yeah.
No one else is more sought after than Corey West. I mean, people are saying he's like going to be the number one in the
You
world.
have the best arm wrestlers all over the world saying they 100% believe Corey West is the up and coming of North America.
Yeah, which I don't disagree with at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Corey is a monster. Mm-hmm. If you haven't seen Corey, have you seen Corey in person?
No, I've actually never met Corey. I know my dad has met Corey. They're friends. They talk occasionally over like social medias. But I've never met Corey.
So I was hanging out with Corey 2 weeks ago, and Corey is just like a behemoth of a man. Like they call him the gorilla. He looks like a whole gorilla. Like that's the perfect name.
He's our American Levant.
He really is, like, not at the same like level, but the same like size human. Because I've met Levant too. Like they're very similar sized.
We have a lot of 300 to 400 pound guys that are not on the level of Corey West.
Yeah,
a lot of our supers are around 250 to 280.
Yeah, I'd say 250 to 300 realistically.
Yeah, realistically.
We don't have very many supers that are true massive supers, guys that
totally pushing the barrier of a weight.
Guys that aren't just like fat 242 pullers, right?
Yeah.
Like, Corey is one of those. I mean, Corey completely destroyed Wayne Withers, who Wayne Withers is an absolute beast, top 20 guy in North America.
Definitely.
Who else has Corey beaten recently? Corey unfortunately tore his bicep against Dave Chafee left-handed. I think Corey may have won that match. Who knows?
Dave looked very good in that match.
Yeah.
Considering it was a left-handed match.
Corey just beat Mike Aiello a few months ago at a Michael Todd event, as well as Chris Chandler. He beat Jonathan Brita. He beat left-handed. Don Underwood he beat. I mean, Corey's taking all sorts of names. How can you not talk about Corey West when you're talking about the future of arm wrestling?
Do you know how old Corey West is?
Corey is 28 or 29.
Yeah,
so he's
fairly young guy.
Still really. Pretty young.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, all the top guys in arm wrestling right now are, in North America at least, are in their 40s or older.
I would say most of them are 45 to 60 years old.
Yeah, which is...
Like, a lot of these guys are peaking. Like, you got guys like Michael Todd that, in my opinion, even though he might not be as well-rounded strength-wise as he's been before, he's probably the strongest power-for-power-wise in certain aspects.
Current form Michael Todd is the best form Michael Todd, I think.
Agree.
And he's like 46 or something.
Yeah, you have guys like Toddzilla that are peaking at the age of almost 60 years old.
Yeah, Todd is like 55, I think.
I want to say.
Something like that.
So
you have Ron Bath, who's 60 years old this year.
Yes.
60 years old, and he's still the man at 242 until June 6th when I beat him. But for the current time, I mean, North American arm wrestling typically is between 40 and 60. I would have to agree. And the fact that Corey West is already knocking on that door is unbelievable. He told me his 5-year plan is to break into the top 5 in North America. I think that's more like a 1-year plan. Yeah. I see him...
It totally depends on how quickly he can heal from that injury.
Yeah, that was
how he can start training his arms.
Well, I pulled with him a little, and he definitely feels strong. I think in the next year we can see him beating guys like Todd Hutchings, guys like Jerry Caderet, guys like Tim Bresnan.
Yep.
I really want to see these matches because, I mean, Corey's right there. I'm really excited to see where he goes. But
we could see Corey potentially come out for a big tournament either late this year or early next year. I know he's trying to wait off a while just for doctor's request to not overdo training-wise.
Yeah.
Even though it's just on his left arm, he doesn't want to get back on the table and start banging too hard yet. But if he did, I mean, he'd very well have some huge upsets this year.
Yeah.
If not early next year.
Yeah. Definitely within the next 12 months, we're going to see something massive from him. I'd really like to see him pull Todd Hutchins or Tim Bresnan. Those are kind of the two guys that are, I mean, you kind of have to pull. If you want to be considered the true elite, right?
Yeah, because he's already ranked very highly for his age.
Yeah.
So to get someone that's ranked at that level would be awesome.
I mean, the people above him, Michael Todd, which is mid to late 40s, Devin Larrett, mid to late 40s, Jerry Caderet, mid to late 40s, Dave Chafee, who's early 40s, and then Tim Bresnan, who's like 50.
Yeah. And you got Todd Hutchings as well.
Todd Hutchings.
Who pulls exclusively in the super heavyweights now.
Yeah, and Todd is mid 50s. So everyone is I mean, almost double his age. 20 years on him.
Yeah. He's already
15, 20 years.
Not only is he the hugest prospect, but he's already right there.
Yeah, he already is right there.
He's already proven.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. And the number one prospect, Chance Shaw. we have to talk about Chance Shaw, especially what he's been doing in the last 4 or 5 months, tournament-wise.
Yeah.
Because if you go back a year ago, this was a guy that was, at least by most of the North America, perceived as like the number one threat of Florida, but not completely proven yet to Floridans. He very quickly proved that.
Yeah.
He had a couple tournaments in Florida where there was still some doubt. Some guys that still thought they could beat Chance Shaw. And he proved otherwise. He proved he was well above the number two, the number three. Tournament after tournament, just showing how much farther that gap had gotten.
Yeah, I think the first tournament where I proved myself in Florida was in August, King of Florida, Brandon Morris's tournament. I ended up winning over Carl Stanley, who has been the man in Florida for a long time, and Chris Gellings was here from, I think he's from Illinois, and I ended up beating both of them pretty convincingly, too.
Yes, and then what I thought was amazing was the next time you pulled those individuals, you went out of your way to even prove how much farther that strength gap had gotten.
Yeah. I'm definitely on a path right now. I'm trying to be on a path. I'm trying to travel to prove myself, but it's hard. There's a lot of elite talent.
There is, but there's tons we can say about you because of how much you've done in the last few months. Just going back to Kansas City. We'll
Probably my best showing
We'll
ever.
highlight on that because that's where most of the recent news has been.
Yeah.
Even though you did some really good things before that as well, but I think we'll probably mostly talk about your showing in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Before that, you had a match with Nick Senna in a tournament. I believe this was about a year ago.
That was... I think actually that was almost 2 years ago.
Okay,
now.
almost 2 years ago.
A year and a half or so.
You had beat a couple individuals in that tournament that were very good arm wrestlers.
But Nick was the big one.
Nick was the big one, and you had pulled Nick in that tournament, and a lot of people questioned the win, saying he was an injured Nick Senna. He was a not trained up Nick Senna, but it was still a good win, good pull. You proved you were the better arm wrestler that day.
Definitely my biggest win.
Yes.
To that date.
Yes. Jump forward to Kansas City.
Yeah.
You had the opportunity to draw Nick first or not first. It was round 2.
Yeah, round 2.
The super heavyweight brackets. You had won a match. You went, pulled Nick Senna.
And Nick got the bye, I think.
Okay. Nick
Yeah,
Senna. So you were Nick's first pull.
But my first pull was a newer puller, Kenny Weaver. But
yes.
Yeah. So we basically both had buys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you got to pull Nick, and he proved that it was not even close.
Yeah.
The strength gap had gone too far. Even though this was a stronger version of Nick Senna on that day, Chance had proven that he was what people were starting to believe, that he was at that level. And then immediately after that, he got to pull against Jordan Sill, who did have a super match with Ron Bath that day.
Yep. Yeah. It wasn't a perfectly fresh Jordan.
Not perfectly fresh Jordan, but in the straps, it wasn't even close.
No.
The setup and execution performed by Chance completely eliminated any power advantage Jordan could have had. So Chance proved that he was stronger than Jordan as well.
Yeah, I got to pull Jordan twice, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And both times.
Both times the same thing happened. Yeah. I do think with Jordan it's a bit of a style thing. Like Jordan just killed Todd Hutchings 2 months ago, something like that.
Fairly recently.
Yeah, killed him. And then I kind of killed Jordan. Yes, he had a super match, but I think I would have a really hard time with Todd just because of the style matchup, just like Jordan would have a really hard time with me because of the style matchup. It's just not a good style. But regardless, not many people are beating Jordan Sill in any condition.
It's hard. A lot of the elite guys that Jordan goes up against aren't ready for Jordan's power he has out of the straps.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's proven that in recent times.
And he holds on really well. But I'm really, really good at running away to the straps. Yeah,
One of the best.
Yeah, I'm the king of slipping.
So that goes in your favor well. Beyond that, though, you did get to pull against a guy that is the number one in North America at the 242 weight cutoff.
Yep.
And that guy is ranked above Marcio Barboza and Matt Mast. I don't know in what order, but they're the top 3. He also had a super match. This man is Ron Bath, who for years has been competitive and at the highest level at that weight.
He has been at the highest level for 30 years.
Yes.
Which is unbelievable. Ron doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion. I think if there was no John Brzenk, everyone would be talking about Ron Bath for North America. I mean, who else has been dominant for 30 years?
He competed all over in North America. If he had the opportunity that John had to fly everywhere, very well could have done the same thing.
Yeah, very possibly. So, yeah, absolutely.
And very accomplished puller.
Yeah, I did get to pull Ron that day in Kansas, which was nice.
It was a very good match that you had. So, I mean, that says a lot about where you're at right now.
Yeah, I think a big teller for me is going to be June 5th, June 6th, whatever that Saturday is, when I have my super match with Ron.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because everything's going to change after that match, for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. One way or another. But
I'm predicting a 3-0 win for Chance Shaw. And
wow.
I don't think a lot of people are predicting that. A lot of people do support Chance in this match because of his recent experience against Jordan Sill and Ron Bath. But most people don't think it's going to be as of a clear-cut win as I do. But I strongly believe it's going to be 3-0.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Hope
I'm training for it. I'm trying to train with everyone across the country and make sure that I'm prepared for it. So
yeah, and you've done a really good job, and you still have some more time to prepare for it.
Yeah,
but the date's closing in for sure.
It is. Yeah, we're less than 2 months now. Today's what? April 12th, 10th, 11th. Yeah. I'll get it eventually. But yeah, so I have less than 2 months. I'm excited for that. But yeah, so those are really our top 5 prospects.
Yeah, the top 5 in no particular order.
Yeah, no particular order. If it was an order, it'd probably be Corey West and then everyone else, in my opinion.
Corey's the most proven on the list.
Yeah, for sure.
But Chance is also, in recent times, very proven.
Yeah. So. But anyways, Corey West, myself, Kyle, Austin Wade, and Derek Smith. I think that these guys are probably our top 5 prospects. We may have missed some people across the country. It's hard to know everyone, right?
I can think of a lot of honorable mentions.
Anyways, thanks guys. Let me know who I missed, and make sure you like and subscribe.
All right. Take care.